Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everybody for tuning in to another episode of the sports-oriented Wokeism show. I'm your host, Solomon Wafua. Thank you to everybody that has contributed in the comment section or through the emojis in the previous episode. Can't appreciate you more enough just to really be grateful for being a part of the journey. We are just getting started, and I hope that the show will continue to grow steadily because that's how I get to be tested and proven that this show can really last, just like other successful sports-oriented podcasts. But yeah, without further ado, today I'll be focusing on the Woke NBA versus WNBA 3-point challenge, and I'll give you details on what it's all about, who is in it, and of course what is the impact in terms of the basketball culture when you have a female athlete participating in a contest that is organized by the men's league. So that's what I'll be talking about. But without further ado, once again, my name is Solomon Wafua. For those who are new, either you're watching or listening to me from whatever time zone you're in or which country you're from, I'm glad to have you here. And today, my topic will be the Woke NBA versus WNBA 3-point challenge. And just before I give you the details on that new challenge, of course, the NBA All-Star Weekend is coming up in less than 2 weeks, yeah, and it's going to be held in Indianapolis, of course, the home of college sports, also known as the National Collegiate Athletic Association, or NCAA. And so, being the home of the Indiana Pacers too, and also the Indiana Fever, which both teams are owned by Herbert Simon, of course, one of the richest billionaires in the sports industry. And his team is the one hosting the All-Star Weekend coming up, I believe, on February 9th all the way to 11th, or 10th to 12th of February. So it's going to happen a few days before Valentine's Day, which will be on the 14th, and it's going to be a jam-packed, weekend for those who want to either want to go there personally or you want to watch it on the platforms that the NBA has provided for. But yeah, in that All-Star Weekend is going to be the Rising Stars game, meaning it's going to have rookies and second-year players playing against each other. We're also going to have the Skills Challenge, meaning they're going to put the most technical players of different positions to, battle it out against each other. And then, of course, you have the Slam Dunk Contest, where, of course, the best dunkers from either the rookie class or the sophomore class or even the third-year players class that are going to participate in the Slam Dunk Contest. Of course, they're going to have the 3-point contest, which have, of course, 8 of the best 3-point shooters across the league participating against each other. And then, of course, last but not least, we have the All-Star game, which normally happens on the Sunday of the All-Star weekend. For the Rising Stars Challenge, it happens on a Friday, and then all these other activities in between, they happen on a Saturday. Now, for the All-Star Saturday night, it's going to be happening at the Lucas Oil Stadium, that is the home of the Indianapolis Colts. And then for the All-Star game, it's going to be happening at the Gamebridge Fieldhouse, that is the home of the Indiana Pacers and the Indiana Fever. That is just the usual All-Star weekend that we have. And one or two more info just to alert you. The All-Star game will come back to its original format, meaning it's going to be the Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference, the best of the best players from both conferences fighting each out. Now, when COVID kicked in and Kobe and his daughter and 7 others passed on during that year, that is in January 2020, and the All-Star game happened before now the league shut down and played during the summer in Orlando. That is when they kicked off the Elam ending type of All-Star game format, whereby each quarter whoever scores the most wins some cash, and then the fourth quarter whoever wins the game by 24 points or a 24-point gap wins the All Star game. That has been happening for 4 straight years, and this year, 2024, it's going to be back to the original format: Eastern Conference versus the Western Conference. Now we all know that as of recent years, the All Star game has been subpar in terms of entertainment, in terms of even the caliber of players who are playing in that All Star game, and many fans say that they rather not watch the All Star game or the All Star weekend altogether because of the caliber of players that are being brought forth in the All Star weekend are not as entertaining like the way it used to be in the early 2010s, in the 2000s, and even the 90s. So let's see where this upcoming one will look like. But that is not where I'm focusing on. Today I'm focusing on the newest challenge that was both. The idea came from two players, one from the NBA and the other one from the WNBA, and those two players are Stephen Curry and Sabrina Ionescu. Now, a little bit of the background of those two players so far. Stephen Curry is the greatest three-point shooter. He holds almost every record concerning three-point shooting, either in the regular season or in the playoffs or in the NBA finals. He holds almost all of them, so that's why he's considered the greatest three-point shooter. And then you have Sabrina Ionescu, who just won the three-point contest last year in the WNBA, and also she holds the record last season for scoring the most threes. But in terms of the three-point percentage, she's like top four last season. But in terms of career-wise, she has a long way to go, and she is the one who even prompted this challenge without her saying it. Why? Because she broke the record for most threes scored in a round of the three-point shootout, scoring 37 out of the 40 points. So the NBA world was like, hey, how can a woman beat Stephen Curry's record? And of course, Steph Curry now jumped into the challenge like last week, and he said, hey, I'm not going to let it slide. When he was talking to his teammate, when he was mic'd up, preparing for their rivalry game against the Sacramento Kings. And in that game, of course, the Warriors lost uh, at home to the Kings, thanks to the fumble by Steph Curry. But hey, Steph Curry said, I can't let that slide. I also want to jump into the challenge. And moments later, Sabrina on social media responded and said, hey, let's meet each other at the three-point line. Now, yesterday, the NBA saw that conversation was trending online, and they said, hey, why don't we put it in the All-Star game? In the All-Star weekend. And that is where they come into the conversation. Now that means you have the all-time three-point leader in Steph Curry versus the single-season three-point leader in Sabrina Ionescu fighting against each other. That will be on a Saturday. It will happen after the three-point contest, the one that has the 8 players, and before the slam dunk contest. Now, in terms of the amount of money that they're going to be awarded, of course, each shot by both of them will receive a donation from the NBA and WNBA. But the funny thing is that each shot that is made by both of them will also trigger a donation from State Farm, and State Farm is one of the main sponsors of the NBA, to the NBA Foundation. It will trigger a donation from State Farm to the NBA Foundation to support economic empowerment in the black community. Now, why are they bringing that up? Is it necessary for the whole league to do this? And why can't the players do by themselves? Because the players are 70% black. Why can't they do it themselves? But rather, the league wants to virtue signal and say, hey, every shot that these players make is going to go towards black empowerment. And I think that's really not, it is unnecessary to do that in public. It's supposed to be a private thing, a personal decision, and not the league forcing it onto the screens of people. And then also, I'm seeing this thing as being the battle of the sexes, where it's going to be between masculinity and feminism. Now, if you can remember, some time back, Clay Travis of Outkick proposed a challenge whereby the WNBA champions will battle it out against the high school state champions of his choice for $1 million, and he put his money on the boys. Now, we all know, as the online streets have found out, that the WNBA did not respond, but When it comes to the NBA giving such a challenge, they are all in the boat. Don't you see there's a contradiction? That tells you that the WNBA cannot do it by themselves, but they rather rely on their brothers, that is the NBA. I think that's contradictory. It sounds like double standard. I wish Clay Travis will see this video or this audio from me. He should do a similar um, story like the way he did on the bet between the WNBA defending champions, that is the Las Vegas Aces, versus the high school state champions of his choice. He should do now for this one in the 3-point contest and put his money on Steph Curry, because I'm seeing here Steph Curry's legacy is on the line. But for Sabrina Ionescu, she has nothing to lose and she has all the feminists supporting her. So this is kind of politics being played here. But hey, let's see what happens in the coming days as the All-Star weekend is coming up. If it was me betting, I'll put that on Steph Curry any day, any time. He's the greatest three-point shooter. He deserves to win that one. Sorry, ladies, but you're playing on a different ball game. Of course, the NBA are going to use, Steph Curry is going to use the NBA balls for the contest. And also, Sabrina, will use the WNBA ball for the three-point shootout. So, good luck to both of them, but I'll put my money on Steph Curry. So, that's what I have for you today. Thank you so much, everybody, for listening or tuning in from wherever you are. Make sure you contribute in the comment section and also comment, like, share, and subscribe and follow to make sure that the channel continues to grow. Tell a friend, and yeah, I'm glad I appreciate your feedback as soon as this show is done. But from me, Solomon Wafua, thanks so much to everybody. Until next time, and it's goodbye from me.